Hey there, guys. Sean Michael here from WinBeta, and welcome to episode 37 of the WinBeta podcast for the week of October 16th, 2015. With me is co-host Zach Bowden.
Hey there, everyone.
And this week, we'll be talking about a lot of stories, but you may have also noticed that with me this week is also Sean Ung. So Sean's our very special guest, jumping right in there. There were a lot of build news this week. Almost the entire podcast after Sean is going to be about builds. But before we dive into that, we have a very special guest. Sean Ung is a Surface expert. He was at the Windows 10 devices event, got a hands-on with some of the devices, got to see them up close and personal. And as I said, he's a Surface expert. You can find him on YouTube, on his YouTube channel. And he also has a website, which is mrseanung.com, which is an organizational tool for all of his YouTube Surface videos. I have to say, personally, big fan of Sean's. You know, we've done articles covering tips that you've shown off, and I use some of the software that you've recommended and some of the tips and tricks that you've shown off. So we are very excited to have you on the show. Thank you very much for joining us.
And thank you for having me. I'm very excited to be on the show.
So at the event, we got a big surprise in the Surface Book, but we also saw the Surface Pro 3 successor in the Surface Pro 4. Most of our listeners already know the specs of these devices. They've read, we have coverage for anyone that hasn't on, core breakdowns and all the hardcore specs and that sort of thing. But we're going to skim past that mostly, just talk about form factor. The Surface Pro 4 is the same basic shape as the Surface Pro 3, similar port model, screen's a bit bigger, but really it's the Surface Pro like we've seen before with better internals and a few tweaks here and there. The Surface Book is really where it's at. We're going to get into that in a little bit, but the Surface Book is the big surprise. It's a full-blown laptop from Microsoft, detachable screen on the top and all that. So those are the two main devices we're going to be talking about with you today. And just to jump off, you got to go hands-on with them. Zach and I are very jealous. What are your impressions of the form factor, the feel, and then the little bit of performance that you got to see out of these devices?
Yeah, so I was surprised. So when I was sitting in the audience and saw the video being shown of the Surface Book, and then the video came to the end, my initial impression was, oh, it's a laptop, and I think that's cool, but I'm kind of beyond the laptop now. I'm more of a tablet guy. And then when the video was shown a second time, and then boom, kind of it went apart, that was the moment for me that was like, wow, okay. Like at that moment, my mind was blown. I'm like, okay, what is actually going on? What is this device? It's a lot more interesting. And in playing with the device, I just really noticed it had, number one, a really premium feel. The screen was fantastic. I think that was the biggest thing that stood out to me is how big the screen was, especially when you detach it from the base. You really feel in your hand like this is a big, thin tablet that feels really good.
How thin is it? Because the top half obviously detaches. The whole thing put together comes in, I think, at 3.4 pounds. How much of that is in the top itself when you feel it?
It feels like the top, I don't know the exact weight breakdown, but it feels like the top is about a third of the weight. It's not quite half. I think that the majority of the weight is definitely in the base. So the top feels very thin and light in the hand.
That's one of the things that we saw from a lot of different journalists that were coming out of there is they said it's remarkable how light just the top half of that feels like. Now, did you get to go hands-on with the Surface Pro 4 as well, or just the book?
I did, both of them, yes.
And do you have any impressions about, there isn't a huge difference in the Surface Pro 4 form factor. It's mostly internal, but anything that you took from it?
I think, so the Surface Pro 4 it just feels a lot more natural than the Surface Pro 3. And you don't really notice the difference until you go back to the Surface Pro 3. And then you're like, whoa, have I really been using this the whole time? So it's kind of one of those, and I think that's actually where the technology needs to be. You shouldn't notice good technology per se, but you should know it's good when you go back to the previous version and realize how bad it was, or how much more superior the one that you're currently using is. So yeah, definitely the bigger screen, the higher resolution, the type cover, it makes a huge difference for sure.
Going back to the Surface Book for just a minute, when they unveiled the Surface Book, I thought, yeah, that's really great, super amazing. But then they announced the price. Who do you think the Surface Book is actually, who does it appeal to? Especially with that high price tag, who do you think it appeals to?
Definitely people, high-end professionals. I would say primarily people who deal with a lot of graphics. That's kind of, if you look at all the questions around the Surface Pro 3 or any of the Surface Pro devices, one of the main questions that always comes up is, what are the graphics like? How good is this at video editing? And that's one of the things where the Surface Book really stands out, is that it has that dedicated graphics processing unit, the GPU, in the base as an option. And that's something that a lot of people ask for the Surface Pro 3 is, hey, can we get an external GPU in the docking station, or just something we can plug in? And now finally the Surface Book kind of answers that with the dedicated GPU. So I'd say it's definitely geared towards professionals, people who want to get serious work done, maybe who are more comfortable with the laptop form factor versus the tablet form factor.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I think the Surface Book also provides that lappability. People make fun of that word. I think it describes it pretty well. Try to use a Surface on your lap with just the kickstand. It's a little hard.
Yeah.
Surface Book, it changes that. You mentioned that you kind of passed the laptop, but as you said, the Surface Book is kind of more than that. Out of these two devices, Surface Pro 4, Surface Book, which are you personally more interested in?
So as I said in the beginning, I'm kind of at the phase right now where I've moved beyond the laptop, and I actually prefer the tablet form factor. In fact, in my Surface device, I use it in tablet mode maybe like 80% of the time. And then when I really need to hunker down and really need to type something fast, then I whip out the kickstand and the keyboard, the type cover. So definitely, I think if I had to choose one, I would definitely choose the Surface Pro 4. The Surface Book, even though it can be a tablet, it really is a laptop first. You have to press a button to detach the tablet. The base is kind of heavy. You have to put it somewhere. If you want to rotate it around, it takes a little bit more work. So it's you can't just fold the keyboard back like you can on the Surface Pro 4. So it's definitely a laptop first and a tablet second, whereas the Surface Pro 4 is a tablet first and laptop second.
What would you say some of your favorite features are from both of these devices?
So it's funny that the Surface Pro 4, one of my favorite features on it, which is a little subtle and it actually wasn't discussed that much, is the lack of a feature, which is the removal of the Windows button.
Oh, right, yeah.
I can't tell you how many times I accidentally press that button, and I've got kids, and they love to press that button. And it always messes up what I'm doing. So I greatly appreciate, kind of the bigger screen real estate and then the removal of the button. I think that's pretty cool.
The only thing that I see as a downside to that, some people might like it personally, but for me, I notice a lot of product placement, and the Surface has actually been featured in quite a few films. It was in Mission Impossible, and I just saw another movie, The Martian. It was actually used in The Martian the other day, and because of that, they can just have the camera showing someone using the device, and it's got the Windows logo on the side. Now Microsoft is going to have to pay them to kind of finagle like a camera angle from the back, because there is still a Microsoft logo on it. But if it's just a rectangular screen, people are going to think it's an iPad Pro or something. So that's the only downside. But I agree that button with the Windows 10 changes and how it's in the taskbar now anyway, I definitely see that being a benefit, because you get screen size as a benefit of that. Do you think, do you think the Surface Pro 4 is a significant enough improvement to justify purchasing it?
So that's a good question. I would say that if you're in the market for a new device, then definitely the extra money that you would spend on the Surface Pro 4 would be worth it. However, a lot of the improvements, the external improvements, such as the keyboard, and the fingerprint reader, the extra pen, those are things that you can actually get for your Surface Pro 3. So if you already have a Surface Pro 3 and you get those extra, the type cover and the pen, then you basically have a Surface 3.5, That said, the bigger screen, sharper screen, the increased performance, the additional cooling, which I think is going to be a big help, and the battery life, if you're in the market for a new device, I don't think that you'd regret, paying a little bit extra and getting the Surface Pro 4 for sure.
So out of all the devices announced at the event, which one stood out to you most and why?
Out of all the devices,
All of them.
definitely the HoloLens.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I agree 100%.
I'm so excited about the HoloLens because, I think the Lumia phones definitely came in second, and the idea that, okay, you can plug it into a screen, you can use it basically as a, pseudo desktop. But to me, the HoloLens, it would kind of remove it would remove your tablet, it would remove your phone. Once it can be integrated into your daily life, you can have anything around you that's a hologram. You have no need to use a physical device. So to me, kind of forward looking, that's definitely the most exciting. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't disagree much with you there. We use these devices that we're so used to, but then you see the HoloLens in action, and every time they unveil a new part of it, it's just more and more impressive. So definitely no disagreement on that being an exciting device. Thank you so much, Sean. We really appreciate it. Again, for everyone listening in, this is Sean Ung, Surface Expert. You can find him on YouTube. Ung is spelled O-N-G. Sean is S-E-A-N, similar to my own first name. Mm-hmm. And you can also find his website, MrSeanUng.com. Again, thank you very much for joining us.
Okay, thank you, Sean and Zach.
See ya.
I'm signing off now.
All right, we'll see you.
We should probably jump into the news stories of this week because there's quite a bit of it. And I think we should kick off with none other than Redstone, because everybody loves a bit of Redstone. So this week it was revealed that Microsoft, revealed by moi, I'd like to say, well, technically no, because BuildFeed got there first, but I was writing the story just as BuildFeed posted it. They've been compiling Redstone builds for a few weeks now, but I can't remember which development branch actually hit Windows Update. Not for the public, but obviously just internally. I think it was RS1_NQ base or something. Either way, Microsoft is now compiling Redstone builds, which means they are now finally beginning to lay down code for the next, air quotes, major version of Windows 10. Right now, most of you probably know they're developing Threshold 2, which is set to RTM in just a couple weeks now, I believe. Not too long left. Around the end of this month, it should RTM, and mobile should RTM as well, I'm pretty sure. But then after that, they should be focusing on Redstone. And Redstone will be the big update that brings a new UI, a number of larger features, and all that good stuff. The current internal builds, nothing's changed. They look just like the normal Windows 10 Threshold 2 builds, nothing new. The current internal builds are in the 11,000 range, so they have jumped a fair bit, because right now the latest Threshold 2 builds are like early 10.570, but these Redstone 1 builds, which we probably won't ever see, are in the 11,000 range. So that's a whole 500, 600 plus builds away, and they did the jump obviously to give them enough room to finalize Threshold 2 and possibly do a little bit of jumping with Threshold 2 as they normally do around the RTM area. Yeah, they don't look any different, so you're not missing much right now.
But I mean, that's a big step because it shows that they're marching forward there. And as you said, it gives them enough wiggle room to make some real differences.
Yeah. It's I was completely going to say something. I completely forgot. What was I going to say?
We're not that close, Zach. I'm not a mind reader.
It was there, and I was just about to say it, and it completely left me. Oh, well. I'm sure it wasn't important. It was probably something exclusive about Redstone, but...
Exactly. It was probably that you have all the builds and they actually are really different.
Sadly, I don't have all the builds. I wish I did. It's quite upsetting. Gabe, I would like to have your job, please. It'd be very nice.
Gabe had a lot of fun this week. We're going to go through about 70 different builds that they released.
They did. They went through a fair bit. Although, I'm still not happy. I want more. I want a new desktop build. Actually, I take that back. Not right now.
We got a new desktop build.
Yeah, but 6.5 is old now.
We're about to talk about it. We got new everything.
Yeah.
We got new everything except Enterprise.
Enterprise gets us build along with it, don't they? I don't know, actually. I don't know. Build 10.565 for desktops was released this week and includes... What did it include? Let's find out. Actually, that's the video, so it's not going to tell me what's new. Or is it?
I figured you knew. You made the video.
I don't remember. I've been through a lot this week. Build 565 brings forth the new improvements to Cortana, Microsoft Edge, the messaging app, colored title bar. Oh, yes, and more. So the colored title bars, a feature that was brought back in Windows 10 in an earlier Threshold 2 build, was updated into 6.5, and it looks better now. Title bar text is finally white, meaning you can have dark title bars and your windows not look terrible, which is fantastic. What else?
Well, kinda. Don't they only show up on some though?
What do you mean?
The dark title bars, weren't there some programs that they showed up on, but some they didn't? I thought I saw that. Maybe I'm crazy.
Maybe. Yes, also Cortana can now read whiteboards or something, or read notes from OneNote or something along those lines. What else?
Handwritten notes. That's what it is.
Handwritten notes. That's it.
Which is not well. That's a nice feature because a lot of people do handwrite their notes with OneNote.
Yeah.
So.
Also, in this build, Cortana has the code to send SMS messages and alert you when you miss a call. However, it doesn't work currently for the public due to the mobile build not being, more recent. The build that was released for mobile, which we're going to talk about in a little bit, is fairly old, but I think it was released due to there being an upgrade bug between 5.36 and 5.49. Either way, yes, Cortana will eventually be able to send SMSs, and it's pretty simple. I actually wrote about this recently, thinking it was a public feature, which it turns out it isn't. So I got it checked. I asked somebody to check on the latest Insider build if it worked, and they said yes.
So let me ask. Well, first of all, this is a cool feature. I actually think that the missed calling thing is
no, it's great.
That's quite useful as well because I agree your phone will probably be close to you, but I have WhatsApp as hundreds of millions of people do. And if you have WhatsApp open on but you have to have it open on a browser, it'll notify you when you're getting a WhatsApp call, and that's actually pretty handy. But that's restricted to WhatsApp calls only, and you have to have your browser open. But now with this, once they get it finished up, it's just Cortana on your desktop is just going to pop up there. So that's pretty handy. But I got a question for you, Zach.
What?
Why did they figure this out first on Cortana instead of in messaging?
Because the different development teams are doing different things. The ability for Cortana to SMS has been in the plan since December. I'm pretty sure I mentioned it in my in December last year. I'm pretty sure I mentioned it in the Cortana video I did a long time ago. I don't know, you wasn't writing at the site at the time, but when I showcased the early build of Cortana, I'm sure she had the code there. Although, because in the January preview, she you could say Cortana send a text, and she tried to send a text, but there was nothing to send a text to because the code wasn't finished. And then it kind of went away for the RTM, but now it's back, which is great. So yeah, it's been there for a while, and even before I imagine a messaging app was being developed.
Yeah, it's probably harder to integrate into messaging as well.
Yeah, and also the messaging app, I believe the way the messaging app is going to do it is it's going to send your text to the cloud. Because you've got text backup works, right? So your texts are in the back. When you restore a phone or sign into a different phone, your texts appear on that phone as well. So I'm thinking they send the text on the device, it syncs to the cloud, and then your computer pulls it from the cloud. And it will work the other way for the computer. So your computer sends it to the cloud, and then your phone pulls it and sends it like that.
Which would be beautiful.
It would be beautiful. But then again,
Let me show you something beautiful.
I'm assuming that's how it works. That's just more me guessing than anything. I'm not.
I hope it is. I go from right to left. I got phone, and then I got my Surface, and then this is a monitor. But it could very well be a separate desktop, with the normal setup, and that's pretty normal. And so to be able to not just Skype message, which is cool, like you and I Skype message, like that's fine, but my parents don't Skype message. My girlfriend doesn't Skype message. Like Skype messaging is not super common in my circle of friends. I'm sure it's used, but just texting is going to be really nice that you could text from a computer. That's a big deal to me, and that you really get these, because it's interesting. I'm curious to see how this works out, because with Apple, they have iMessaging and like FaceTime and stuff, so they kind of have a similar idea, right?
Yeah.
But for I think they're kind of under the premise that you get a phone first, and then you go into the Mac ecosystem. So, if you already have an iPhone, which you probably, a lot of people do, and then you get a Mac, you get these extra features. And that's like a selling point to get a Mac. I'm curious if that's going to work the other way around, and if Microsoft is going to be able to sell this, because a lot of people own PCs. It's, there's already 110 million people on Windows 10. That's going to keep going up and up and up. Are they going to be able to sell that and say, sure, you can use Office on your iPad. Yeah, you can use Skype on your Android phone. But if you get a Windows phone, you get text messaging from your computer. And then will people say, actually, that's enough that I actually want to try out Windows Phone? At least a business that doesn't care about certain apps like Snapchat. Businesses might get Windows Phone saying, look, don't complain to me that you don't get Snapchat. We don't want you on Snapchat. Use your own phone for that. So I'm curious to see if this will work. And because this would be an exclusive feature to Windows, right?
Yeah.
This isn't going to hop to like Cortana for Android.
I would. Well, I mean, it's possible on Android, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. But I wonder, do you think that that's actually going to get people to jump and buy a Windows Phone, maybe, or at least look into it?
No, I don't think. Consumers they don't know what they want until they have it. That's the thing. Like, a consumer doesn't know if they want to text on the desktop. I told my girlfriend that texting from your laptop is coming, and she went, "I don't care." But you will care once you have it. It's the best thing in the world. She's like, "No, I just don't care." I'm like, yeah, you will. You will care.
You will, because I'm telling you. No, I'm just.
It's
sometimes
amazing.
Sometimes I feel like that with my friends. I was talking to like an Apple guy this week, and here's a phrase that you hear from Apple folks, which I find a bit ironic. Tell me if you've heard this one before. Well, why would I want that?
Yeah, yes, exactly.
Yeah, you show them this super cool. You go Continuum on a phone, makes your phone into a laptop or a tab, like basically a desktop-like experience. And then next year with an Intel phone, if that actually comes out like we're planning, quite literally, your phone is basically a desktop. And they go, well, why would I want that? And it's like, I don't know, coming from an Apple guy, don't they have a bunch of things that not everybody wants that you have to pay for anyway? Isn't that like a knock on Apple?
Yeah, no, yeah.
So it's interesting that they would say that. But I agree. People with these features, you're like, oh, texting from your laptop. And they're like, yeah, whatever.
But, I mean, ask an Apple user. They love it. It's like the best thing ever. That continuity feature they've got, they love it. I mean, why can't we have that Windows?
We will, Zach. We
it's
will.
just too slow. Microsoft.
It's like less than 2 months away, isn't it?
It's been like 3 years since Mac added it, so...
I guess. I don't know. I mean, we'll see how that goes. I don't know. Fans, what do you think that it's actually going to push people in one direction?
I'm not even impressed with the current messaging app.
What was that?
I'm not even impressed with the messaging app on the latest Insider builds.
On the phone or on the desktop?
On the desktop and I guess the phone. Why not? They're just like, ugh, they're kind of sad looking. I mean, the desktop app looks awful. It doesn't look great at all.
Oh, really?
Especially in white. I mean, it looks better in black, but it's not in white.
I like the phone one and the cool landscape, and that's kind of nice. And now with your DPI changes, I guess we'll get into that in the mobile stuff. But I'll wait for that for mobile. But it's cool. There's some cool stuff with the messaging app once you're in the new mobile build, so that's nice.
Yeah.
But is there anything else on that? Is it worth pointing out? Wasn't build 10,565 released as an ISO?
Yes, it was. It was released as an ISO yesterday, I think. And
was it also? Is it in the slow ring now? Or
it was released into the slow ring literally a couple hours ago.
So that's significant, right? That a build is so good that it went from fast to slow and had ISO.
I think it was pushed to slow more because they haven't had a build since the RTM.
Oh, there's that.
And the ISOs was released because people were having issues upgrading.
Okay.
So hooray!
Well, there you go. I could see. Do you understand why people are in the slow ring?
Yes.
It's because you get to test out new features, but not break everything, right?
That was well. So I mean, they get to test out new features and have workarounds for bugs. Because the build that releases into the fast ring, if it releases into the slow ring, it's the same build. I mean, the bugs in the fast ring are also in the slow ring if it gets released there. It's just that... Why am I holding this? It's just that on the slow ring, Microsoft assumes that there will be more workarounds available. And sometimes they release fixes like they did a fair bit from the... Right. They haven't released many fixes for the Threshold 2 Insider preview. But
if it makes it to the slow ring, it's a relatively stable build.
Yeah, I would, yeah.
So if
it's not stable at all, it won't reach the slow ring. I mean, if it's not stable at all, it won't reach the fast ring either most of the time. But I mean, if it's more buggy than usual inside of ring builds, it won't go out to the slow ring.
Right. Well,
but then that ruins the fun because you don't get to see the awesome... I love seeing bugs in Windows. I think it's hilarious.
I like reporting. At first, I got the insider preview and I'm only on my phone. I'm not... People advised me, I asked on Twitter, I only have one PC, and I said, should I go preview? And they said, no, not on your only machine, not on your primary device.
No, not on your only machine.
And I said, okay, fine, I won't do that. So I didn't do that. But on my phone, I did. It's late enough in development that it is on my primary and it's working okay. Though it is quite warm at the moment, even though it's not on.
Reboot it. Reboot it usually helps.
Okay, I don't know why. It's
He
like
says it's great, guys. It's burning his house down.
it's noticeably warm. Well, my house is cold. It's nice to warm up. So yeah, there's that. In any event, I like giving feedback. At first, I just wanted to test new features and then also write stories about it, because sometimes you can only write stories if you have the new build. But now I catch myself really excited to share feedback and actually try to help the process. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I guess on that note, there was also a new mobile build this week. Windows 10 Mobile build 10,549. And with
new build.
well, I mean, new is subjective. New to the public. It's a whole 3 numbers higher than the one that they showed off at the Devices event last week, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't that 5? That was 546. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So not a ton new in this, I guess. Let's see here. You got Cortana to insiders in Japan, Australia, and Canada in English, which is nice. And see, also apparently, well, other things are on the way, but they're not here now, so I'm not going to tell you about them. Messaging app has a text box that dynamically expands as you type, which is nice because then you actually see everything you've typed, which is kind of one of those features we wonder why that wasn't there from day one, but whatever. Let's see here. Integrated Skype capabilities. Wasn't that was in the last one through an update, but now it's just like there? Is that what it is? Because I had Skype integration.
Yeah, it's built in. I know. Is it built in on? I don't think it's built in on 549. It might be. I'm not sure.
Why was this listed as a change? I'm confused. That was there before. In any event. All right. And then you also get, let's see here, biggest news out of that, Lumia camera is no longer uninstalled when you go to that. So like Lumia 1020 users can still use that and be happy. And also a little bit of progressiveness for Microsoft. Other people have done this as well. Diversity in emojis. So you can now do different races, and then also you can make them gray. If you wanted to like super neutral, you can have like multiple different like actual races, tones of human beings, and then just like gray, which is like, I guess, neutral. So there you go. I thought yellow was considered neutral, but now you also have gray, which is neutral as well. I would also point out that even though the lists of changes is not that big, I think the performance of this build is very nice. I've seen people say things like, if you haven't been on a preview build and you're thinking about it, this will change your experience. It's been very stable for me. I don't want to speak for the whole world, obviously, but in my experience, this has been a pretty stable build. What about you, Zach? How's performance been?
Performance is okay. I mean, I wasn't seeing any major improvements performance-wise over the last Insider preview build. There are a number of performance enhancements coming though in newer builds, which are, it's a lot better. It really is. Like I don't know if the notification center for you, I don't know if it does it on the 930 or 549, but on the lower end devices, on 549, the notification center still lags a little bit when you swipe down. Although I don't think it did it there. On the more recent builds, that's gone. It comes down immediately, which is great.
Oh, I also forgot to mention what I just talked about like 4 seconds ago. You can change the DPI on the latest build.
Yes, you can.
And so I actually don't know what DPI stands for.
Display pixels
per inch or something like that.
Actually, I don't know what it stands for either. Let's find out.
In any event, I'm sure comments will let me know and I'll look silly. But in any event, the end result of it is that you can basically zoom out or change. Well, I don't know how you'd say it. You're changing how much appears on your screen.
Dots per inch.
Dots per inch. There you go. And what that gets you is, so on a Lumia 930, which is a 5-inch screen, you usually have 3 columns. So you can do 2 wide and 1, or 111, or a bunch of those little ones. I guess some people use those little ones. Thank you, comment section. Getting dots per inch there now. But now, if you change your DPI, and then you have to restart your phone, you can now have 4 columns, even on a Lumia 930, which I find great, because then you can have 2 wide right next to each other. So you end up with a ton more on your screen with only having to, it makes the text a little bit smaller, obviously. But it looks really nice, I think. You get the 4 here, you can do 2 next to each other wide. It actually makes me kind of want to have the large tile, from the desktop. I actually wish that was there, because if you had this, it gives you more info. But yeah, I think that's a pretty noticeable change. Gives you like nice functionality. These are the nice little things that I think you see with the preview build, and you get these working out process. I think one was the hold the start button to get the half screen. That was something and then they brought that to the smaller ones. Basically, you're getting a phablet-like experience with more things shoved into your screen, but the screen's big enough where I can still read my stuff on here.
Yeah.
So I think that's pretty nice.
Like the DPI option on a Lumia 435 doesn't really work. You can lower it a little bit,
but it doesn't do much.
You can't enable a fourth column, and apps don't display as if they were a phablet. Just the text is slightly smaller, meaning you can get a little bit more on screen, but it's not a dramatic change, which is good, I think, because I really wouldn't want a phablet UI on a screen that's 4 inches and only like 2 by 2 pixels or whatever it is.
Yeah, you get like one large live tile. It's it'd be great for like kids where like, look, these are your 4 tiles. You get call me, message me, email me, and call your dad. All right, Ma. The next thing I'd want to see with this DPI change, I'd love to combine DPI scaling with landscape. That would be wonderful. That'd be really nice.
It would be nice, but will it ever happen? Nobody knows.
They've teased it. Why would they tease it if it wasn't on the way?
I don't know, because they're Microsoft and they're just like, whatever.
They're just jerking you around. You say, no, I want the new features. And they say, no, you get Cortana messaging. You say, I want it in the app. You say, you don't get it. No, in any event. So yeah, there's that for the... Was there anything else I missed in the builds? I mean, you probably did a video on it, I'm sure.
No, I think you got everything.
All right, then.
The diverse emojis, did you talk about them?
Yeah, I got those.
You got everything.
Which, you have to have someone else who's on the preview for that to work, though. I sent one to Leah, and it just showed up normal.
Yeah, she's an 8.1. It went.
Well, I wouldn't even say normal. It showed up old, which was only one race. So that's obvious. So... Yeah, when everybody updates, it'll work.
Back when Windows was racist.
Whoa. I don't think I said that. I don't think I said that quite. I'm trying to not say normal is one thing. But moving on from awkwardness and that, we got more builds, right? We got lots of builds this week, Zach. We got one more to talk about. Well, we got like 5
The Xbox One received a new build. I think it received one today as well, actually, which we haven't thinking. It received build 10.567.10.04, and today it received 567.10.08, which I imagine is just like a few fixes. But yes, new builds for Xbox One. The Xbox One dashboard UI, I've been using it. I'm enjoying it. It's definitely an improvement over the old Xbox One UI, but considering its current previous stage, it's really buggy. So if you depend on your Xbox for like entertainment and actual gaming, don't upgrade, because apparently some games don't load and just UI sometimes crash. Like the Xbox sometimes restarts now, which is great, but when I'm playing a game, it's not cool.
Yeah, finally, I'm about to beat Halo 5 on Legendary.
And restarts. No! But yeah, I'm enjoying it very much. I enjoy the new guide that comes out from the left. It's a lot better than the old one where it took you back to the dashboard. Cortana worked in on the older build, but the upgrading to the newer build apparently disabled it. But you can re-enable it, I believe, by resetting your Xbox, which I'm not going to do because I already did that. I don't have time to re-download games every day.
Nope. Especially with how big they are.
Exactly.
What are they, like 50, 60 gigs now?
60. Well, Halo 5's 48 gigabytes, or 46 gigabytes, but I believe there's like a 14 gigabyte day one update coming, so a total 60.
That's pretty big.
It is a little
bit. Now you know why they have a 1 terabyte Xbox. And why some people want a diskless one with like 2 or 3 terabytes.
I have 500 gigabytes in my Xbox. I'm struggling. I have 4 games and it's already like 50% full.
Maybe we'll trade. You'll upgrade. I could run like a whole business.
You know what? That's a good idea. I actually have been looking into getting a bigger Xbox One.
I think we could make like a whole like business of like Zach's half generation old stuff.
Well, to be fair, I'm kind of glad I didn't give you the Microsoft band now.
I would have sent it back.
I get that £70 thingy, which is
I definitely would have sent it. As soon as I saw it, I was like, "Hey, have you seen this?" And if I had it, I would have sent it to you or sent you 70 quid. That's only fair, right?
Yeah, no, but yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. In any event, yeah. So new Xbox. I think it's nice that a lot of these operating system changes let you do stuff without entirely switching to a new program. That's kind of the idea behind a lot of this, right? So that's nice.
Yeah, it's
I'm
very,
excited.
very good.
I haven't
It's good
seen
to
the
see
new
Windows
dashboard.
10 coming to more devices. I'm bored of looking at Windows 10 for desktops and phone. I want to see it running on HoloLens. I want to
You're
see
gonna
it
have,
running on
you're
my
gonna have to go buy like a Raspberry Pi just so you can do
I need
preview builds.
I need a time machine. Even like, I don't think daily builds would do it for me now.
It's okay. You're like an addict.
Yeah, I'm Gabe, compile more builds. I need more builds.
I need some more build. Nah, anyway,
What's currently compiling? I need it. Give it to me straight away.
Maybe I shouldn't make fun of people with real issues, but you know what I'm saying. Like,
I have a real issue. It's called builds attack. You know, I need help, guys. Please donate.
well, Zach, why don't you get a Raspberry Pi, and then when there's IoT updates, you can do that.
Yeah, but IoT's like it's IoT. IoT comes far and few, and then it's like, yay, IoT. What's that? Okay, move on. I need.
Oh, you tell me you don't want a Raspberry Pi. If I handed it to you, would you want it?
No,
No, yeah, maybe not.
unless it was an actual Raspberry Pi.
Ooh. Yeah, I'd Would I prefer? Would you? That's it. We could do like a poll question in the after party. Would you prefer a free actual Pi filled with raspberries or a Raspberry Pi computer? Very curious to see what they'd say. Somebody make that poll and put that in the comments section there for us,
Yeah.
please.
Is it my story next or yours? Oh yes,
yours.
the controller
Yeah.
remapping. With the dashboard update came controller remapping. So now you can change what buttons do what on your Xbox controller. So for example, the A button. With this new app, you can change the A button to be the B button, and the B button to be the A button, and the X button to be the A button, and the X button to be you can change it all about. So you can have like a completely different control set than what you would usually have, and I think that's quite cool because with the Xbox 360 you can't do that, and many people do like to change their controls. Some people like, I mean, for first-person shooters, for example, Halo has a completely different control scheme there compared to Call of Duty.
Right.
But with this, I could now essentially remap buttons to do the same for each game. So I could have, say, if B in Halo is to punch and the click in here is to punch, I can swap those around so they're the same in each game, I believe, which is great. And
Well, can you do it per game customization?
I don't know. I haven't tried it.
Because if you switch where the X button and the Y button are, just so Halo matches Call of Duty, but then you play Call of Duty,
Then you switch it back. You might have to switch it back actually, but it's still. It's still something.
They need to get like presets or something.
Possibly. There probably are presets.
They need to work that out because a bunch of people are gonna be like, "Is it per controller?" You could have like a Call of Duty controller and like a Halo controller.
Getting a new controller soon. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, the Xbox Elite controller. All that stuff. What?
No. Let's move on.
You don't want one of those?
I do want one of them. They sound great.
All right, there we go. Speaking of new controllers or new things related to controllers, also fans of the Xbox One controller, but that are used to playing games on their PC, can use their Xbox One controller wirelessly through a new adapter that is coming out. It's going to cost $24.99. Rolls out in the next. Let's see. Today's the 16th. By the time you listen to this, it's probably already out, unless you're live. But yeah, October 20th comes out there. You had to be tethered before, which is kind of annoying because it's 2015, so you shouldn't have to. It's still somewhat annoying that you need to have an adapter, but that being said, whatever, it's there.
Apparently, oh god, you finished.
No, I was just saying it's there, so you can use it.
Apparently, I'm scaring the chat because my mic is getting really loud. It shouldn't be. The thing isn't going up and down no more. I'm only hitting midway, unless I really shout.
Is your mic super directional? So, like, if you rotate, does it change how loud it is? So it's going to be like this, and then it's going to be like that. And then
Now it's on the opposite side. Is that better? It's facing that way now. It's
I have
facing.
no
towards
idea.
you.
It could be worse. I get a different audio feed.
Oh no, that makes no.
Remember, I can't help you with audio testing, video testing. Zach, you could honestly your house could be on fire, and I couldn't tell you what was going on in the background.
Well, it's facing the other way now. That might fix it.
But in any event, yeah, so there you go. You can get an adapter, play your Xbox wirelessly on Windows 10. Using that adapter, it's $24.99. And that's nice. Some people will want that. You know, people like controllers. So there you go.
You know what? Oh, yeah.
We got a little things, I guess, but you go first.
More builds.
Yeah, we got more builds.
It was...
Do you want to dive into these too much? I don't know. I mean, I don't even know about them.
I mean, they're just other builds. IoT build was released and an SDK preview build. So it's a funny thing. They released a mobile build, emulator build, which is way newer than the one that was released on phones. They released 10.563, I believe, for phones on mobile, and they released on the emulator, and on the actual phones themselves, in the actual preview, They released 549. I think that's great.
I think, I don't really understand all how that works, but like you said, I think they just wanted to. I think one thing is they had some of these builds. I'm almost positive earlier. I mean, obviously they have every build before they give it to us, but you know, they were ready to ship it out. Sorry, they're ready to ship it out. But Gabe had that tweet where he said today is about devices, so no builds.
Yeah,
and I think they basically just made that week about devices because then see the Windows 10 devices event last week with all that news, but then here we had desktop, mobile, IoT, emulator, Xbox One. I mean, it was everything. It was just dumped in a week. So I mean, like the only builds we didn't get was like enterprise, and
HoloLens.
And HoloLens, yeah. Well, yeah, but you could buy a HoloLens, developer kit, so you're getting close anyway.
Yeah.
So I know that's a little different, but I'm trying to shoehorn that in there. So I think they just waited till this week to send you everything.
Yeah, and I keep sitting off camera, and it's annoying me.
You are off camera. What are you doing, Zach?
I don't know. I'm coming back, man.
Come back. Come back.
I'm here. Right. Poll time.
Poll time. Yeah, we got a poll this week. Zach, we got a poll this week. We had some stories this week. I asked folks, how long will it take for Windows 10 to hit 1 billion installations? Now, you know what I did not know I needed to clarify?
What?
This is an American billion, not a European billion.
Oh, here we go. All the numbers. Oh, 1 billion installations. Yeah, because look. What is 1 billion in America?
Yeah, so the American billion is a 1 followed by 9 zeros.
9 zeros. And a European billion is 7, isn't it?
It's 12. There's a million, then 1,000 million, and then a billion.
Numbers are strange.
Yeah, it's really weird that numbers aren't universal by now, but I guess someone would have to give in. I think the UK has adopted the American billion now.
I believe we have, yeah.
I wonder if there's ever been like a really serious mistake and someone was like, your government owes us $1 billion.
And you only really owed 100 million or 100
or something. And somebody just somebody meant $1 trillion, or they meant like an American trillion, which is the same as a European billion or something like that. So yeah, there's that. We asked billion devices. I meant American billion. I'm sorry if that's ethnocentric, but I'm in the UK and from America, and they both use the American billion. So I've never had to think about that before. I'll clarify.
Condenser says a million is a 1 followed by 9 zeros. A million's 1 followed by 6 zeros.
Isn't it? Yeah, it's 1,000, a million, and then there's...
Yeah, 1,000 is what would it be? 1, 2, 3, 5 zeros.
No, 1,000 is 3 zeros.
Oh, yeah, sorry, 100,000 is 5 zeros. That's what I meant.
Yeah, it's for every 3 zeros you add in America, you change names. So it goes 1,000, million, billion, trillion,
This
quadrillion.
turned into a math lesson really quickly.
In any event, yeah, someone's going to do 10 times, whatever. In any event, billion devices. See, that's when you need to fill time. You get a math lesson. No.
A math diploma right here on the WinBeta podcast.
I asked people about a billion devices. I gave a few different options for this, and I was really interested in the results. So one option was 0 to 3 years. One option was, I believe, 4 to 7 years. Yeah, and then one was 8 to 10 years. And then one was it will never reach 1 billion devices. And what I found so interesting about this was, let me actually get the results here, is that you got over half, so 51% of over 1,800 vote. Actually, it was 1,800 on the dot. I am the 1801st. But I voted twice just to see the results. 51% of the voters said 0 to 3 years. But then 20% said never. I thought that was the weirdest discrepancy. You'd think that it would be like, if people think, apparently people think it's going to happen really quick or not at all. There's 26% that said 4 to 7, and then only 3 said 8 to 10, which what that tells me is if it goes 8 to 10 years and it hasn't hit 1 billion, I guess people think it never will. So very interesting results in this week's poll. I thought that was quite intriguing that you get heavy votes on both ends of the spectrum. What do you think? How long do you think it'll take, Zach?
I reckon it would take 3 years.
3 years?
3? No, I'm not sure because how am I trying to word this? The way in which builds are upgrading is always fluctuating. Like, there's like a lot, and then there isn't a lot, and then there is a lot, and then there isn't a lot. Like, it took 3 or 4 weeks to get from 75 million to 100 million, and all of a sudden it took a week to get 100 million to 110 million. Where'd those 10 million come from?
Oh, well, I have a few guesses, but it's more of a joke.
Okay.
Those forced installs?
Oh wow, yeah. We should mention that before we start.
We can now. We got time.
Do you know more about it than me? Because I haven't really been.
I don't know if they force install. They're forced download. Did they actually make people?
Broken phone?
Did they actually? Did you actually just break your phone?
No, they're not the important ones.
I don't know if it downloaded in some people's PC, but I don't know if it actually forced them to update. I actually don't know about.
No, it didn't. It just downloaded, and then it would pop up saying Windows 10 is ready to install, and the user.
Hey, wait a minute! That's not what I asked for.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't mind if Windows 10 had downloaded automatically and it was just ready to go. I'd be like, I might as well update now.
Yeah, you would have liked that, but what about the people that are waiting for Redstone or TH2?
You know what? They can just, stop waiting about. Upgrade now. Let's do it. Which completely contradicts what I said last week, saying wait for Threshold 2.
Whatever. In any event, yeah, I don't know. I think it really depends. I actually don't know some of the numbers. I have no idea how many. What are there like? How many million Xbox Ones are there out there? It's under 100 million, right? Or I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, Xbox One's absolutely under.
I added some zeros to that. It's under 10 million, isn't it? No. What am I thinking of? Help me out. I looked dumb.
10 million. I believe 10 million is a number they hit, but it's under 100 billion. 100%.
Yeah, I was counting the wrong number of zeros. Maybe that was billion talking.
Sales.
My point is that I think it's not a big jump. So even if every Xbox One, I said 100. I know that's wrong. I'm sure I'll get killed in the comments.
In August 2015, just recently, apparently Xbox One has 13 million compared to PlayStation's 25 million.
So that's almost nothing towards this goal.
Yeah.
How many Windows 10 mobile devices are there?
I don't think there's an exact number.
Does anyone? I don't know. Gauge. Someone could do a market share extrapolation or something, but I don't think that's a big jump either, right?
No, it won't be a huge jump.
I mean,
it will be millions, but it won't be like enough to boost us to 500 million.
Right, but I don't think all the Xbox Ones in the world and all the mobile Windows 10 or all the Windows phones upgrade, even if every one of them upgraded, I still don't think that's going to be how they hit this goal. It's going to be everything put together, people buying new PCs, the support cycle ending for the last one. I actually think it might take a while, maybe in that 4 to 7 range.
Yeah.
So we'll see that. So that's a poll this week. Someone asked in the live comments, do we do an article? We post the polls on Wednesday or Thursday every week. It should be Wednesday. Sorry. So we post a poll every week. The results show up if you vote. And then I think I know, as far as I know, you don't have to vote again to see it. That used to be an issue where if you click it once, then you couldn't see the results unless you voted again. Obviously, that skews voting. I think that's fixed, but you can always tune in to hear the results with us here. But you can also just look at the articles as well, and we put out those polls every week. So there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Someone said 14, but yeah, that's about okay. Yeah. So it's not a big jump. All right, ready for rapid fire, Zach? I only got one for you though, so we got to really rapidly fire this.
Sure.
Gapless playback on Groove Music.
Hooray!
Yeah.
That's all I have to say about that.
Well, I saw that you tweeted about it, so
it took 50 years for them to add it in. Seriously.
I like Windows. I use it a lot. It's amazing to me how they can get some things to work and others they can't. HoloLens, real thing. We got actual HoloLens. Streaming games from your Xbox One to a Windows 10 device. Great. But they can't get music players to work as well as they should, and phone calls don't always work the way that you'd want, or Skype. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How can you make a Surface Book, and it's amazing, and then have hardware? I don't know. I guess this phone was made by Nokia though, not Microsoft. But it's amazing to me that they get some of these things working, and then other things that don't work. Very odd. Anyway. Well, that's it for this week, isn't it, Zach?
That pretty much is. That's 50-odd minutes, I believe. So.
50 on the dot. We just hit it. Look at that.
I know. We're getting good at this. We've got our time now, 50 minutes every week.
All right, then. Well, I guess we'll wrap up and then do the after party. This has been the WinBeta Podcast, episode 37 for the week of October 16th, 2015, or 16th of October, 2015. If you want to get, you can rearrange the dates however you want, depending on your region. As always, I've been one of your hosts, Sean. You can find me on Twitter at Sean_Michael_UK. And the other co-host, as always, is Zach. You can find him on Twitter
at ZachB_.
There you go. You can find WinBeta on Twitter at WinBetaDOTORG. Find us on Google+, Facebook, all sorts of stuff like that. You can listen to the podcast on SoundCloud, iTunes. Please give us good ratings, reviews, tell your friends, share with your buddies, all that sort of thing. And always, if you don't know, you can join us live. We do this live every week. We have lots of fun, and then we have a kind of bit of an after show where we have questions and answers and hang out with our fans and buddies as well, talking about things that we don't always have time to talk about on the show, ranging from the most serious questions about builds to much more casual topics. So there you go. Thank you guys very much for joining us this week, and we will see you on the next one.